My dear students, now we are in the second class of electric capacitance. In the previous class, we have discussed a lot of things about the capacitance, capacity of a capacitor, capacity of a spherical conductor, and then the parallel plate capacitor. Clear? Today we are going to discuss about the amount of energy stored in a capacitor. Capacitor is a device where electrostatic energy is stored due to the flow of charge. Clear? A misconception is there. Capacitor store charge. This is a misconception. Concept. Capacitor store electric energy or electrostatic energy. Clear? Misconception is that capacitor is a device that store energy. Actually, this is a wrong concept. Hence, we can say that capacitor is a device that store electric energy when some potential difference is applied across it. The amount of work done to charge a capacitor when some potential difference is maintained across it is called its potential energy. Now, we will discuss about the potential energy of a capacitor. It is the amount of work done by a capacitor to charge it when some potential difference is applied across it. It means when some potential difference, let V is the potential difference, is the electric field in between the two parallel plates, then if Q is the amount of charge supplied, then the amount of electrostatic energy stored in a capacitor is called its potential energy, or it is the amount of work done to charge a capacitor. If Q be the amount of charge flow, V be the potential difference applied across it, then capacity of the capacitor C is equal to Q by V. Clear? Or I can write Q is equal to CV. Let dW be the work done. Due to potential difference dV, then W is equal to Q dV, or instead of Q I can write it as a Cv dV. As Q is equal to Cv, instead of Q I can write Cv dV. Hence, that is dW is equal to that much. Integrating both sides, dW what done? C V dV. or I can write W is equal to CB square or half CB square. Clear? But as we know that Q is equal to CB or C is equal to Q by B, I can find it here. W is equal to half. Instead of C, I can use QB. Q by B into V square is equal to half QB. Again, instead of V, I can write V is equal to Q by C. If I will put Q by C, W is equal to half QB, half QB Q by C is found to be half Q square by C. As we know, the reciprocal of capacitance is elastance. Reciprocal of capacitance as elastance, S is equal to 1 by C implies W is equal to 1 by SQ square. Clear? So, this is a different form of equation of a potential energy stored in a capacitor, or I would like to say that. Potential energy stored in a capacitor. W is equal to half QB, half CB square, half Q square by C, or half SQ square. Clear? This is a very, very important 2 mark questions. Okay? Note. If Q is equal to charge flow through a capacitor, V is equal to potential difference applied across it, C is equal to capacity of capacitor SC is equal to elastance of the capacitor, then the dimension of QV, dimension of CV square, dimension of Q square by C, SQ square, all are energy, hence it is found to be mL square T minus 2. Clear? A questions often asking that how the spring constant and elastance of a capacitor plays the same role. Let's see. What is the analogous? Or we can write similarity between potential energy stored in a spring and capacitor. Clear? Potential energy of a spring is equal to half kx square, where k is force constant and x is its displacement. It means the potential energy depends upon the expansion. How much expansion you have did against the force constant, okay, or the restoring force. Potential energy of capacitor is half SQ square. It means here the variable quantity is displacement and here the variable quantity is charge. How much charge flow to do some work. I would like to say that the spring constant and the S is the elastance plays the same role. Hence, this is the analogy between the force constant and the elastance of a capacitor. What is the similarity between potential energy in a spring and a capacitor? This is the potential energy of a spring is half kx square, while potential energy of a capacitor is half SQ square, where S stands for elastance. Clear? After discussing energy density of a capacitor. Energy density, it means amount of potential energy stored per unit volume of a capacitor is called energy density of a capacitor. It is defined as the amount of potential energy stored across the capacitor per unit volume. That is energy density is equal to potential energy stored per volume of capacitor. Okay. If C is equal to capacity of the capacitor, V is equal to potential difference applied across it, which is V is equal to E into D, where D is the separation between the two parallel plates and E is the applied electric field. As we know that V is equal to negative line integral of electric field, or by integrating this we can got it as a V is equal to E into D. Area of each plate, clear? And D is equal to distance between two parallel plates, clear? Therefore, energy density, how much? Potential energy stored. The potential energy of a capacitor just now we have derived is equal to half CV square, and volume is area of the plate between the each plate and the parallel distance between the two plates, that is A into D. As we know that for a air filled capacitor, capacity of a capacitor is found to be A epsilon 0 by T. Hence half A epsilon 0 by T. Here B means E into T whole by area into the distance between the two plates. If it is so, the area cancelled, d square cancel. So energy density is half epsilon 0 E square. Clear? It means the energy stored in a capacitor, very important. Energy density of a capacitor is half epsilon 0 E square. Now the question is, sir, whenever you are going to store some amount of energy in a capacitor, where that energy is stored and how this energy is stored? This energy is stored in between the two parallel plates of a capacitor. In between the two parallel plates of a capacitor in the form of electric field. Clear? And that is called polarization. We will discuss in the next class. Clear? So energy is stored in a capacitor because as we know that these two plates are oppositely charged. Electric field exists only inside. No electric field exists outside. Clear? So only electric field exists inside it. So only energy stored in between the two parallel plates in the form of electric field. Clear? So now we have discussed. Now the question arises, sir, what is the dimension of epsilon 0 E square? If epsilon 0 stands for absolute permittivity and E stands for electricity, then what is its dimension? What we will do? Find the dimension of epsilon 0, then find the dimension of E, square it, then multiply it. No, don't do such a way. Because as we know that half is a numerical value, it has no dimension. So half epsilon 0 E square is energy density is equals to energy per volume. Energy means ml square, T minus 2, volume means L cube. So if you find the dimension is found to be m L minus 1 T minus 2. M L minus 1 T minus 2. This is the dimension of what? Epsilon 0 E square. Clear? The last part that we will discuss about the today's class is grouping of capacitor. Capacitor are grouped in two ways. One is called series combination and another is called parallel combination. Now we will discuss one by one. First, series grouping. Listen to me. Capacitors are said to be in series if the negative plate of first capacitor connected to positive plate of the next and so on. It means, let us imagine this is positive plate, this is negative, this is positive, negative, similarly this is positive, negative. Okay. Let this potential be, net potential be V, and potential difference across each capacitor be V1, V2, V3 and Vn respectively. This is the individual potential drop across each capacitor. The capacity of the capacitor be C1, C2, C3 and Cn. I would like to say that capacitors are said to be in series grouping. if the amount of charge flow across each capacitor are equal. It means when the charge flow across each capacitor is equal. I would like to say that if Q is equal to constant. Clear? It means the total charge across the each capacitor are equal. Capacitor are said to be in series grouping if charge flow across each capacitor remains constant, that is Q is equal to constant. Let n number of capacitor of capacitance C1, C2, C3, Cn having potential drop B1, B2, Vn are connected in series so that effective capacitance is C effective is equal to C series. Clear? And potential difference is equal to B. Clear? As we know, C is equal to Q by V or V is equal to Q by C. Therefore, V is equal to Q by C effective. Similarly, for individual capacitor, V1 is how much? Q by C1. V2 is Q by C2 ... Vn Q by Cn. Therefore, according to principle of superposition of potential, net potential V is equal to V1 ... Vn. Clear? Therefore, V means Q by C effective is equal to Q by C1 ... Q by Cn. Clear? From this we can conclude that one by C effective is equal to 1 by C1 ... 1 by Cn. Hence, conclusion. Listen to me. In capacitor are said to be in series when the negative plate of the first capacitor is connected to positive plate of the next and the process is going on. Clear? Or otherwise I can say capacitor are said to be in series if the amount of charge flow across each capacitor remains same. Hence, the charge flow across each capacitor are equal. Clear? Hence, at last we got the conclusion that the reciprocal of effective capacitance is equals to algebraic sum of reciprocal of individual capacitance. Hence, net capacitance in series. Always net capacitance in series always decreases. सबुड़े कम है. Clear? This is about series grouping of capacitor. Let us imagine I have taken two capacitors C1 and C2. Clear? Then effective capacitance C series is equal to C1 plus, this is 1 by CS is equal to 1 by C1 plus 1 by C2, or CS is equal to C1 C2 by C1 plus C2. Clear? Hence net capacitance always decreases in series combination. Clear? Now discuss about the parallel grouping. Capacitors are said to be in parallel if the positive plate of each capacitor connected to one end of power supply, while the negative plate of each capacitor connected to next end of the far end of the power supply. Then they are said to be parallel plate capacitor. Or else a capacitor are said to be in parallel if the potential difference across each capacitor are equal. It means I would like to say that potential difference V is equal to constant. V is equal to constant in parallel grouping. Clear? Let n number of capacitor having capacitance C1, C2, Cn are connected in parallel grouping having strength of charge Q1, Q2, Q1 respectively. Clear? If Q is equal to net charge flow and C effective is equal to effective capacitance in parallel, then C is equal to Q by V, or I can write Q is equal to C by V. Clear? Q is equal to CB. Therefore, Q is equal to C effective into potential difference. Similarly, for individual capacitance, I can write how much? Q1 is equal to C1 into V, Q2 is equal to C2 into V, dot dot dot. Qn will Cn into V. According to additive property of charge, Q is equal to Q1, Q2, dot dot dot, Qn. Clear? Therefore, instead of Q, I can write it as a C effective into V. C effective into V is equal to C1V dot 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 Cn into V. By cancel out potential difference both sides, as V remains constant in parallel combination, I can find it as a C effective is equal to C1 dot 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 Cn. Hence, I can conclude that in parallel combination, the net effective capacitance is equal to the sum of individual capacitance. Hence, the capacity increases in parallel combination while the capacity decreases in series combination. Clear? Let two capacitors are connected in parallel. Let it will be C1 and C2. Therefore, C effective is found to be C1 plus C2. Clear? So, this is about the today's class. We have discussed about the potential energy of a capacitor, then energy density of a capacitor, then the two types of grouping, that is called series grouping and parallel grouping of capacitor. Now the question arises, sir, does the grouping of a capacitor of a conservation of energy? Just see. In series, effective capacitance C effective is equal to 1 by C1 dot 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 1 by Cn. In parallel, C effective is equal to sum of individual capacitance dot dot dot. Capacitors are said to be in series if the strength of charge remains constant. Capacitors are said to be in parallel if the potential difference across each capacitor is equal. So, I would like to multiply the square of Q square. Therefore, Q square by C effective is equal to Q square by C1. Q square by Cn. I can write it as a half Q square by C effective is equal to half Q square by C1, half Q square by Cn. This is the energy of a first capacitor. This is the energy of a nth capacitor. If you add the individual energy, it will find out the total energy. Hence, total energy is equal to the potential energy of each capacitor. Clear? Hence, it obeys the conservation of energy. Similarly, V is constant, I can multiply it. V square, C effective into V square is equal to C1 into V square dot 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 Cn into V square. Again, by multiplying half, C effective into V square, half C1 V square dot 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 half Cn V square. Clear? So this is the Cv square is the energy of first capacitor and Cn V square is also energy of nth capacitor. So it can be added algebraically. So total energy is equal to W1. Yes, grouping of capacitor is valid in a conservation scenario. Clear? In the next class, we will discuss about the sharing of capacitor and different numericals related to electric capacitors. Till then, bye. Have a good day.